Leagues are a myth. It's story time with Paul and Pook, baby.
We're going live.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host, Paul Bauer.
Good morning, guys. We're winging it this morning on a on Monday. Oh my God. I need more coffee. Hey, notice I'm sporting all the Rule Zero merch. You can get the Rule Zero merch at merch.comeonmanpod.com. Okay. Your coffee tastes better in these mugs. Oh, man. It is Monday. I've been working my butt off all weekend. I was not on Rule Zero on Saturday because I was doing yard work all weekend. I'm exhausted. I've decided that this week, instead of doing my normal gym exercises, I'm just going to go out there for 2 hours and haul rock because that's what I'm doing, hauling rock. But let me tell you else what was going on. So I've been holding off on doing all this yard work because my boy Mitch, I want to make sure that Mitch was still alive. And guess what? Mitch is still alive, guys. Mitch, you're my boy. Anyway, so this is Mitch. This is my Rose of Sharon plant. And we've been in this for coming up on 4 weeks now, and he's still green. So I think he's probably going to be okay. So I went out there. You can see all that weed matting out there. All that was torn up by this really nasty storm like a month ago. And my daughter, I paid my daughter all this money to go out there and lay all the weed mat, and she did a pretty good job. But then the wind came up and just blew it all to smithereens. And so I've been holding off on fixing it until I knew that Mitch was going to be okay, because I don't want to have to dig his carcass out of the earth and put a different plant in there. But I think Mitch is going to be all right. So that's Mitch, guys. If you guys been tuning in the last couple of weeks and people have been asking about Mitch, that's my boy. That's Mitch right there. And then I also was doing this weekend. Don't worry, we're going to get to the Book of Pook, guys. We're going to get to the Book of Pook. But I was also doing this weekend because, as you know, I do coach men, and a lot of these guys are on the dating apps and stuff. And I had this one guy who was just getting like, all these chicks that are just stereotypically bad on the dating apps that all the guys hate, that makes guys frustrated with all the dating apps. So I was like, I'm just going to make a series of these videos. So I made the first one, and it blew up on TikTok. And so then I was like, oh, I'm going to make another one. And then that one blew up on TikTok, and they're all blowing up on TikTok. So this is what I posted last night. This one the thing is it's pissing women off because I'm calling them out on their bad behavior. And of course, they're all in the comments going, men do it too. Oh, man, or they're attacking me. They're like, oh, you're a Andrew Tate wannabe and all that, whatever. But check this one out. This one I thought was pretty good. This one I was really happy with.
Really be out here on these dating apps posting pictures from 10 years ago, hoping that when we meet them in person, that we'll overlook the fact that they've gained 50 pounds and that we'll like them for their charming personalities.
So all I'm doing is just putting the truths of the dating apps out there, what guys are actually seeing out there. And oh my God, the women are getting all upset. And then the older ladies are like, well, that's what happens when you try to go for younger women. You should date older women. And I'm like, so I finally let one of the ladies in on the gag, and on the gag, I was like, lady, I coach men. I've got men that are in their 20s. I got guys in their 30s. I got guys in their 40s. I even have a guy I'm coaching that's in the 60s. I was like, women of all age ranges do this crap. We're seeing this across the board. Okay. Like, you specifically might not be doing this because, of course, the women are like, I'm not like that, but I'm not like that. Because that's what's called solipsism, right? It's filtered through their own lens. Well, I don't do that. I put my whatever out there, Late, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those other chicks, okay? And of course, they're all losing their minds. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing. All right. We are talking about the Book of Pook, though, today, guys. The Book of Pook continues. We are on chapters. Where are we in the paperback? I like giving the chapter numbers from the paperback because bookofpook.com is different. What numbers are we on? We're on chapters 32 and 33. We're going to be reading Aim High, and we're going to be reading On Kino. So Aim High is good. It's about, not settling for mediocrity. It's, it's about, the talking about how leagues are a myth. And then on Kino, we're going to be talking about Kino escalation, which, as brother Nathan here says, women like being touched. So we're going to be talking about that because that's what Kino is, right? It's touching, not in a creepy way. You got to make sure you guys are out there, grabbing women by the, we can't say it's not the 8-minute mark, grabbing women by the, what Donald Trump said that one time. We're talking about, touching on upper arm or whatever. Okay. So if you guys don't know what we're doing, right? If you guys are just showing up here, yes, we're on episode 8, I think, of the Book of Pook series, but we're going through this book, the Book of Pook. Now this one, it's now called Book of Pook Volume 1, but it's the original Book of Pook in paperback. There's now a Volume 2 and Volume 3, which I have on my bookshelf. I don't think I'm going to be doing a series on those ones, but I am going to read those here pretty soon. And what these are, if you're new to the space, is they're a compilation of forum posts from the old SOSWA forum. That's where Rollo Tomasi got his start, right? And this guy went by the handle of Pook, wrote some really profound stuff about women and relationships and attraction. And so someone took all of his stuff and decided to make a buck out of it and turn it into the Book of Pook. But you don't have to buy the paperback. You can read along if you want for free at bookofpook.com. So what's Marty say? So don't stand behind girls and do the Biden sniff. Hey man, you can do that. If you can get in her left ear zone to do the Biden sniff, well, you can just start going mode 1, baby. Like, we all know that. You can go right for the Sega talk. We're still not the 8-minute mark. Lord have mercy. So anyway, you can read this for free at bookofpook.com. If you guys prefer audiobooks, shout out to my boy Jack Napier. In the comments, there's a link to an audio version that he did. It's only available on Gumroad. You can't get the Book of Pook on Audible. So Jack Napier did a version of it that you could buy from his Gumroad store down below. Or if you go to Jack Napier Knows on YouTube and become a member of his channel, you get it for free, right? So that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to talk about Aim High, and we're going to do On Kino. But first, guys, do be sure to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do sound off in the live chat today. Just talking with you guys, that makes this more fun. I like doing lives just so I can interact with you guys. If you guys are listening on the audio version, like the replay audio version on Spotify or iTunes or whatever, and you're annoyed by my interaction with the people in the comments, maybe you should just show up for a live sometime. Okay. It's live at 10 a.m. Eastern time every Monday, Wednesday, Friday on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Okay. And then guys, don't be stingy with those super chats. I see we already have one. We'll get to that here in a second, but don't be stingy with those super chats. That keeps the show going. Okay. I know you guys can afford it. I say it every episode. I'm not asking for $500 super chats, but if you send $20 or better, you know what you get. If you don't know, mess around and find. Oh, we're past the 8-minute mark. Fuck around and find out. Okay. Send a $20 or better super chat. You'll see what you get. Okay. Let's go ahead and get brother Nathan's super chat here. He says, get Paul's course and get in shape. Yes, do that. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm going to give him this one.
Respect the cock and tame the cunt.
Yes. Thanks for that, brother Nathan. Okay, so let's talk about Aim High, Book of Pook, Aim High. He says, I know not how others see, but as for me, I see dawn wanting as making dreams come true. Dreams, the spice of life, the universal spring of success. But I must be wrong, for Brian Redford says, stick to your own league. Stick to your own league? What does that mean? Does that mean there exists an aristocracy of genetics and that we happen to be on the bottom? The status of clowns and peasants to these princesses and princes? Forgive me, madam, but you, dear, are out of my league. Is this what we should say to the girls we find gorgeous and beautiful? But why stop there? Why not ask, oh, please, may I have permission to speak to you, princess? Or thank you, dear, for letting me be in your graceful presence. Pook, you exaggerate. Do I? Don't misunderstand. I think Redford has some wise things to say, but that column of desiring beautiful women is the worst advice I've seen. Never seed your dreams for risk of losing your soul. You know, this is a good point. I did an episode months ago now on the myth of leagues, right? And other people have talked about this too. Rollo I think has an essay on the myth of leagues and all that kind of stuff. But there was a study that was done. And I on this episode I played this clip, and I think I had to cut it in post because I think the Discovery Channel hit me with a copyright warning or something. But so I'm just going to describe it to you right now. Okay. I'm not going to play it. But there was a study that was done where they took like 10 men and 10 women, and they put them in these like body suits, right? So you couldn't really and they were all in fairly okay shape, right? Like none of them were over obese, none of them were, overly ugly or whatever. And then they put them all in bodysuits so you couldn't see their hair, and all you could see is just their face. And then they put numbers on their foreheads. And they said, okay, we want you guys to match up based on what you think your number is. They weren't told what their number is, and you need to match up, right? And the highest numbers meant the most good looking, right? So everyone everybody wanted to get with a 10, that sort of thing. And so what they found in this thing just by itself is people would match up close to what their number was, right? They had no idea what their number was, but what they found was like all the women would go for the 10, all the guys would go for the 10 chick. So those people immediately knew they were the best looking ones, right? And so then they just went and got together. And so then as the numbers started dwindling, people started settling, you know what I mean? And they ended up settling into their numbers. So the concept of leagues really does exist if you do no work on yourself. Okay, so that's what the purpose of that episode was, because I'll tell you right now, you can have any kind of girl you want, right? You can have anything you want in this world. Okay, the law of attraction is law. It's a universal law. You can have whatever you want in this world by law, but you must first become the kind of guy that will get that thing. You understand? So if you want to get tens, like in tens, that's subjective, right? Like my adjustable 7 might be a different adjustable 7 for you. Okay, whatever. But if you want to get tens, what you consider a 10, you have to be the kind of guy that would attract a girl like that. Okay. And that means like working on your confidence, working on your frame, hitting the gym, maybe not being a fat bastard. There's all these things that you could be doing to improve your odds at getting the kind of girl that you want to get. You know what I mean? You have to be the kind of guy that a girl like that would get with. You understand? Okay. But if you do nothing, if you want to be boring and do nothing and not try, I had a guy yesterday on TikTok, and he was saying that he's, you know, he paid for premium on Bumble and got 0 matches. He got 0 matches. And I looked at his, his profile picture on TikTok, and I was like, well, I guarantee if his picture looks like this, there's a reason why he's getting zero matches, right? So I go, how were your pictures? He goes, what you see right here is what I posted on there. I had that, and then I had a picture of my dog or something. And I go, get better pictures, bro. Like if you go and get better pictures, you'll have better results. And he's like, why should I have to change? Why should I have to, do something to get these women? That, and I'm like, and a lot of you guys out there have this attitude, right? Like, why do I have to do anything? And like Tarl from Dragon Ship, I don't know if you guys ever tune into Dragon Ship on Saturdays, but Tarl from Dragon Ship, he's also a mod on the Fresh and Fit Discord. He says it really well. Do you want to be right or do you want to win? Right? Women say, just be yourself, right? Oh, just be yourself and the right girl's going to come along. That's not true on dating apps for sure. It's not really true in general. Okay. If what you're doing is not getting you the results you want, you got to do something to change. You got to change up what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like some of you guys, I swear to God. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Oh, Paul, get back to Book of Pook. Okay, fine. All right. Redford says that there does, in fact, exist leagues, a type of genetic or social aristocracy, just as one would love crumbs and blobs of fat if you're starving. Redford compares overweight women to absolutely no women, taking a page out of the How to Love Fat Bloated Hags, a subgenre of the worst relationship books. Redford then says, wait, I will let him speak for himself. So he's quoting this guy, Redford. By that, I mean, no matter how great you think you are or how deserving you feel you may be, the real world puts you back in your place and give you a reality check. You eventually accept it, adjust to it, and learn to appreciate and enjoy your Honda. You also learn rather quickly that a Honda can take you to the exact same places a Mercedes can take you. Now, for those of you who are cheering his words as wonderful and brilliant, I ask only for a full actualization of his advice. Let us place Redford in front of a custodian. Speak, Redford. And then he's pretending to be Redford. How dare you? You may think that you could do better, but the real world puts you in your place. It gives you a reality check. You must accept it, adjust to it, and learn to appreciate and enjoy your custodial duties. And if the custodian responds, I know I can do better, what would Redford say? Quiet. Let us hear him. So this is him as Redford again. If you were starving, would you scoff at your work? No, you would get on your hands and knees and thank God for your fortune. You also learn that a custodian's paycheck feeds and clothes you just as any other paycheck would. This advice is called settling for mediocrity. If you do it with women, why not use it for every other avenue of your life? Mediocrity in the pursuit for a splinter of joy is no joy at all. For me, the pursuit of the dream is the joy. The letter writer did admit that he was physically overweight, but that does not mean he has to settle and cede his dreams. I, for one, would not want a Mercedes or a very nice car since I know it would be stolen. But if you want a Mercedes, just go get one. There are no limits to what we can accomplish. Yeah, I mean, personally, like if we're going to talk about cars here for a minute, like I would never want a Bugatti. I don't care how filthy rich I am, In fact, if you guys read Millionaire Next Door, great book, highly recommend it. You'll find that real millionaires, like people like your next door neighbor might be a millionaire, but you would never know because they don't live outside of their means. They're not driving around in Bugattis and walking around like Ric Flair. Ric Flair's broke half the time. Oh, but he's diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing, woo, limousine riding, jet flying. but he's broke half the time because he keeps getting married and has to keep paying alimony. So he keeps having to have a last match. Dude's like 80 years old. You know what I mean? So there's, when I'm a millionaire, and I'm pretty good. You know, I've got a good amount of money sacked away, but I'm not a millionaire. But when I am a millionaire, I'm not going to be driving a Bugatti. I'm just not, you know. But if you read, going back to Millionaire Next Door, if you read that book, most millionaires don't drive that kind of crap. They drive like, you know, Fords, reliable Fords. Now that's subjective on its own. For American cars just aren't what they used to be, guys. I hate to say it. And if only we could have someone make America great again. Okay. So he says here, a friend of mine is also faced with a similar situation. Let's see. Wait. Okay. Yeah. A friend of mine is also faced in a similar situation. He is 26, lives with his parents, works at the same grocery store for more than half a decade, has no long-term plans for the future, doesn't work out, and demands a beautiful woman. Obviously, he is caught in a bubble of fantasy. There is nothing wrong with going for high standards, but there is a catch. It is this catch when not obeyed. It is this catch when not obeyed will keep you in that bubble of fantasy. In fact, Shakespeare has a saying on it, which he says, the catch, Pook, get to the catch. Very well. Here it is. Who writes like this? Anyway, the high standards you apply to your desires must be applied to yourself. Okay, let me read that again. The high standards you apply to your desires must be applied to yourself. Right? So like I was saying before, leagues exist for guys that don't want to do the work. But if you're willing to do the work, you can have anything you want. Anything you want in this world, right? What colors you Bugatti, huh? And then generally up to 10% of your annual income is considered reasonable to spend on a car. You know, yeah, and if you could do it, take that 10% and sock it away, right? Like go buy an old beater car. Go buy an old beater car for a couple hundo, maybe even like, you know, $2,000 or something like that. Just an AB car. And then take 10% of your paycheck and just sock that money away. Cause that would be, you know, whatever a reasonable car payment you would pay to the bank, just put that amount of money away. Okay. Just put that money away and then go buy a better car with cash. That's a better way of doing it. So you're not in debt, you know, stay out of debt and you'll find that you'll build wealth quicker. I talk about it in my book, guys. Oh, I have a book. Did you know that? I have a book, guys. I talk all, see this? See on the cover, there's money. There we go. Everything I wish I knew was 18. There's money because I talk about money in the book. Okay. And it's not about money to get the girls. It's money for you. The money's for you, bro. Okay. The high standards you apply to your desires must be applied to yourself. Do you want a woman who is not overweight? Then you must eliminate your overweight. Do you want a woman who is intellectually brilliant? Then you must hit the books, read the classics, think, and expand your mind. Do you want a woman who is athletic? Then you too must become athletic. Try if you want to get a woman who is better than you in these traits. You may or may not succeed, but only demand that which you can reflect as well. This forces you on the path of self-improvement. You know, what's an interesting thing to take into consideration, guys, is women's hypergamy, right? This is one of the reasons why it's good to understand women's nature. I was talking with one of the guys that I'm coaching this weekend, and God bless this guy. I love this guy. He sends this girl a text about what he's doing for the weekend, and he's telling her all about, like, he's got these like huge tires. He's going out four-wheeling. He's got these huge tires and like 30,000 horsepower or whatever quad that he's going out on. And I was like, okay. I mean, that was a good message. You told her a little bit about yourself. You answered her question, and then you asked her a question to keep the conversation going. That's cool. I go, but next time You got to understand that women don't give a shit about horsepower and fucking tire size. They don't give a fuck. They don't even know what that means. They don't know what any of that stuff means, right? All they care about is your quad cute? Is your quad cute or not? Right? Does it look cool? That's all they fucking care about, right? They don't care about the fucking size of your tires and the horsepower shit. Guys care about that shit, right? And so that kind of stuff is like where a lot of guys mess up because they're not understanding women and where women are coming from, and so like hypergamy is a good thing to know and not get all caught up about it, like women's hypergamous nature, blah, they're evil. No, they're not evil. Okay, all you got to understand to be a hypergamy strategist is understand how hypergamy works and understand that women typically want a guy that's better than them, like that they see as, like they perceive as better than them in some way, because women want to get with a guy that they, you know, best they could get, right? Hypergamy never really seeks its level. They always want to go up. So you can't be a fat piece of crap and try to go get, this super toned muscle mama, unless she sees you as a better than her in some other way, I don't know. Hey, Thor's in the house. What's up, man? Skull, Paul, you're the best man. Great episode. I'm glad you like it. Guys, remember, smashing like is alpha, okay? All right. Try, if you want, to get a woman who is better than you in these traits. You may not succeed, but only demand that which you can reflect as well. This forces you on a path of self-improvement. Let me tell you a story. In my late nice guy phase, I fell infatuated with this girl. Yeah, not uncommon, I know. And like every nice guy, I dreamed about our blissful future. When I would get around her, I become very tense with butterflies in my stomach. Oh, how I dreamed about her. More important, I dreamed about us. So I eventually bit the bullet and asked her out. Guess what her response was? No. She said no. My soul buckled and I was literally crushed. This is I have it right here. Guys, read this book, Atomic Attraction. All right. It's one of my holy trinity of dating books. He talks about it. I actually put it in my book as well, because he's the only guy I've ever heard talk about it. Guys suffer this thing called chronesthesia, where we do mental time travel and we imagine our futures with these chicks, right? We get in these scenarios in our head where we're like, oh, we're in the white picket fence and we have 2.5 kids, and we imagine like all this, frolicking in the fucking cornfield. I don't know, whatever. We imagine all this stuff, and then we get attached to this idea, and then it doesn't work out, and then we're crushed. Right? If guys would just let go of that attachment to outcome, they would have a much better time on the dating circuit. And guys will do this with girls before they've even gone on a date with them. They'll do this on dating apps. They'll like girls like chatting with them, and they're hitting it off, and they're like, oh, this is great. And then they start imagining this girl like, as their girlfriend and stuff like that. And they step all over their dicks. Okay. He goes, she said, no, my soul buckled and I was literally crushed. Later, when I shrugged off that nice guyness, I was looking for a girlfriend. I thought a break came when a girl, a bit homely, had fallen in love with me a few years later. I thought, should I go for her? And then I realized, no. Later, I realized that she and my crush were good friends. I eventually found out my crush tried to set us up. I knew I could do better, and I did. By focusing on my interests, on my goals, on my improvement, everything changed. Other girls started to take an interest in me. Soon, I became the biggest mystery. My crush is bewildered for her friends. Her friends have the hots for me, and older women say, how I wish I were 20 years younger. I became the guy the girls talked about when they were alone, and she had placed me in the average category. Ha! Of course, I lost all attraction for her. I felt embarrassed about my past self. How could I get so whipped by a chick I hardly talked to? Now it doesn't matter, for I have the mindset that I'm going to win the world. Perhaps you can relate to the story, but the point is that I disagree with Redford in this. The fault is not in the standards. It is ourselves. The failure is not in our high standards, is failing to apply those standards in ourselves. There is an aristocracy, but it is not an aristocracy of genetics. It is an aristocracy of will and passion. Name any name in history, any grand person in present, and see if it was their drive that got them where they are. There is no lottery of life. The leagues you see are the ones you create in your own mind. Anyone can get a beauty. Hell, even Voltaire had the audacity to say, "Give me 10 minutes of talk and I shall bed the Queen of France." Aim high, and as each standard increases, so does yourself. In this manner, you benefit from your fantasy, for now it is tethered to reality, yanking you forward in your proper destiny. Aim high, and behold, for everything shall become new. The women you were lusting for earlier will seem lowly, for you have been on the course of self-improvement while they have not. You worked out, they remained scrawny. You read, they wasted their time. You saved your money and pulled yourself up, and they are locked in debt. Aim high, for Redford says your life depends on it, and he is more correct than ever, but not in how he means it. Here is your choice. Settle for mediocrity or aim high. The former is simple, can occur right now, and only requires the selling of your dreams. The latter demands rigor. The higher you aim, the more rigorous, but your dreams can come true. Aim high, for Strindberg says, I dream, therefore I exist. For to dream is to become. You got all that? You guys, you write that down, okay? What is weaponry fitness say? Once you touch the butt, they will make you nut. That's funny. Oh, man. All right, guys. So that was aim high. And there's a really good message there. I'm going to be talking about some of this stuff on Wednesday's episode. I'm reading Thought Vibrations or Law of Attraction in the Thought World again. I think this is my third pass on this book. It's a William Walker Atkinson classic on Law of Attraction. And he had a chapter in there that inspired me last night, basically talking about how about this sort of stuff. Like, it's yours by law. It's yours by law, but you got to take the right actions to get you there. You know what I mean? You can't just dream of these girls and then hope that they show up, break into your house or whatever. Like, you actually have to go and be that guy. You have to become that guy, right? All right, guys, where are we at? Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list, list.comeonmanpod.com. I'll send you a bunch of free stuff, including some free stickers. If you don't want those stickers, I also have Rule Zero stickers. Look at this. I got all the Rule Zero stuff today. If you don't want stickers, just put "don't want stickers" in the address field, and I won't waste a stamp on you. But you do get 20 dating app openers that are guaranteed to capture a woman's attention in the first 7 words. And you also get a free chapter of my book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, which is available on Amazon and Audible and on Kindle edition. Okay. And then, guys, check out my fitness course, because if you want that girl, if you want that hottie with a body, okay, you got to work on your body. All right. You can't be the fat slob. See that guy in the blue shirt? That was me. And I guarantee that contributed to the end of my marriage. I don't think that's what my now ex-wife signed up for, is a fat, chubby, ugly bastard. Right. So sometime after we divorced, I decided I didn't like looking like this anymore. And it wasn't a situation of, oh, I need to have a revenge body and become attractive because I'm back on the dating circuit, because that's what most people do. No, I got into a relationship, and then it was after that I decided I just am not happy with the way I look. If you're not happy with the way you look, you're not going to be confident. You're not going to be able to get the girls that you want. You're going to have to settle for girls that you can get, girls that'll take pity on you. If you don't want to do that, if you want to become that guy that can get better women, hitting the gym will definitely help with that. If you don't know where to start, get my course. It's less than $30. Okay.
Tired of complicated diets and time-consuming workouts? Does your busy schedule leave no room for the gym? You're not alone. Thousands of men struggle with the same problem. The frustration of not seeing results can be overwhelming. But what if I told you there's an easier way? Introducing the Basic Diet and Fitness Mini Course. your no-nonsense guide to getting fit. Learn the only 4 exercises you need and master the secret of effortless weight loss with the calories in, calories out method. It's time to break free from the cycle of failure. Start your journey to a healthier, stronger you today. Sign up for the Basic Diet and Fitness mini course now, because every man deserves to feel confident and fit. Transform your life, one simple step at a time.
Visit fit.comeonmanpod.com and sign up today. No more excuses.
No more excuses, guys. All right. Let's put this back. All right. So now we're going to move on to Kino. If you guys don't know what Kino is, it's short for kinesthetic or touch, right? Breaking that touch barrier, touching a girl's hand, touching a girl's, upper arm, touching the small of her back as you lead her through a restaurant or something like that, right? Anything like that, breaking that touch barrier creates a deeper connection with chicks, and you can escalate from there if you catch my drift, okay? You can escalate to the indoor Olympics, okay? So this book on Kino, it's a reply to a guy named Deep Blue. And Deep Blue originally posted, I've noticed that the concept of Kino is almost as widely misunderstood as neg hits. So basically in all of Pook's work, anytime it's on and then a subject, so like this one's on Kino, he's replying to someone on the forum, right? Because this goes back to the So Suave forums. So Pook says, so many newbies rush out there with neg hits as wild knights to destroy the hot chicks, castle-like egos. Likewise, so many newbies get creepy with the Kino. You're right, it is misunderstood. These are subtle tools, not sledgehammers. With anything, keep your attitude light and fun. If heaviness weighs down your spirit, don't go experimenting. And so Deep Blue writes this. So I wrote this to provide some added insight into what is really going on with Kino. Hopefully it will be of help to those who are interested. And Pook says, I'm interested. Speak on it, Mr. Deep Blue. The common view of Kino is that you're giving the woman pleasure and that this arouses her and makes her attached to you. And then Pook says, if this is the common view of Kino, then there is a problem. And then Deep Blue says, that is certainly true. No, says Pook. Saying that Kino is to give the woman pleasure? Why is the focus on the woman? No, the focus must be on yourself. Yes, she should find pleasure in the Kino, but you should find pleasure in the Kino too. You touch her because you want to, not because she wants it. Why? Because she wants to be touched and flirted with by every decent, cute guy. We are not play toys for her endless appetite of sexuality. This is an important note, right? A lot of guys, because of the whole Me Too movement and, like women saying, oh, you got to ask for consent. You got to ask for consent. That kills attraction. Okay. If people lose their minds when I say, don't verbally ask for consent. Okay. But pay attention to body language. That's where you're going to find your consent. Okay. If you go to touch her upper arm and she goes like this, she's not giving you consent. Okay. That you don't have to verbally ask her. Okay. But just do it. Like if you have the impulse to touch her hand or touch her upper arm or touch her lower back, just fucking do it. Okay. Be a man, be bold, and just fucking do it. Okay. Her body language will tell you if it's okay or not. I'm not saying grab her tits. I'm not saying grab her by the pussy, right? I'm saying touch her in these fairly, safe places to touch women. On her shoulder, that's a safe place. It's not a sexual place to touch her, right? But you're still touching her. But if you have the impulse, go for it. If you have the impulse to kiss her, go for it. Don't say, may I kiss you? Because then you come across like a pussy. All right. And we're lucky we live in a time when doing Kino with a woman is considered acceptable as soon as you start getting to know her. In older times, guys like Casanova had to be extraordinarily seductive with their words just so they could get to the point where they could begin to use Kino. That's what Deep Blue says. And then Pook says, nah, the seduction of women hasn't really changed. The same rules apply. The only real difference is this age is that ugly chicks don't have dowries. How else can you get a man to marry them? And most women are financially independent. Also, males are afraid of being men and scared of their own sexuality, the AFC, the average frustrated chump. Did you know that half of all marriages in the British colonies of North America, right around the War of Independence, was when the women was when the woman was already pregnant? These were the Puritans as well. That reminds me. This is why, a lot of people think like, if we just go back to the 1950s or 1940s or 1930s or whatever, or the 1700s, that women didn't work, and they, we go back to the old ways where women were housewives, like everything would be better. There was never a golden age. There was never a golden age. Women were slutty sleuts back during the the War of Independence. They were Puritans. And then Pook says, our ancestors were Don Juans. Why not we? And then Deep Blue says, but the key thing to understand about Kino is that when you initiate it with a chick whom you're just getting to know, is that it isn't merely an arousing stimulus. It also challenges the barriers between you. Pook says, so true. If I ever read another post that says she did X and Y, then Z, oh, and look at how she did M and then went and N, does she like me or is she being nice? The answer is, did you touch her? Kino always has a sure answer, as well as asking her out, but she can date you to be polite. She cannot fake her reaction to Kino. This is a great thing too, right? Dr. Glover in Dating Essentials for Men talks about tests of interest. He says you have to be so clear with your test of interest that her response is equally as clear. Right. And some guy said, oh, I sent flowers to a girl as a test of interest. And Dr. Glover goes, that's not a test of interest. She has just her receiving flowers doesn't tell you fuck all. Right. I'm paraphrasing. That's not what Dr. Glover says. But he's like, you have to do something where, like your words are clear, meet me at this place at this time. And she says, yes. Okay. That's a clear response. If she goes, well, I don't know. Maybe I can meet up Friday. I don't know. That's a wishy-washy response. It's a very low interest response. You see what I'm saying? So if you touch a girl and she smiles and she's into it, she leans into you and stuff like that, that tells you everything you need to know right there. She can't fake it. Kino is a great way to test their interest. Girls that don't like you or find you neutral will not like you touching them. Usually when I Kino a girl, it is very subtle. Everyone else in the universe thinks it is innocent. However, if a girl believes that you are being friendly versus liking her, she will choose to think that you like her. Thus, any Kino is interpreted as liking her. She usually then reins Kino back on poor Pook. She'll rub your arm, rub her body against you, anything. Whatever you do, do not Kino girls that are not interested in. Do not Kino girls that you are not interested in. Yeah, whatever you do not Kino girls you are not interested in. I've done this, and these girls obsessed about me to the end. One planned out our marriage and all. Kino is that powerful. In fact, Deep Blue wishes to speak. So we'll get to Deep Blue in a second. This is one of the reasons why I say, no matter what's going on in the date, always go for a kiss if you like her, right? And like he says, if you don't like her, don't go for a kiss, right? Because girls are going to really respond to that. And you'll know right there if she's going to get a second date or not, right? But if you go and you kiss a girl and she just melts in your arms, she's into it. Like, she likes you, right? There's no way around it. She likes you. If you go to kiss her and she gives you the cheek, she goes like, oh, don't ask her out in a second. Don't even fucking call her back. There's no reason. There's no reason, The kiss test will tell you everything you need to know. And that's also a form of Kino. You're touching her, right? How do you regulate Kino to make sure you're not overdoing it? I wouldn't overthink it. Just if you have the gut instinct to touch her, the touch her, and then just see how she's responding, and just gauge her by her interest in her response to it. That's all. When you're past the initial dating phase, man, I think Nurse Chick Kino's the fuck out of me. She won't stop. Nurse Chick likes to say, she's like, I'm like an octopus to the face. So I don't know if I just gauge her by her body language, man. That's all. Don't overthink it, Kamal. Okay. Deep Blue says the presence of those invisible barriers, which you both maintain in your minds, is really the key difference between being lovers and strangers. And Pook says, in your mind, yes, not in her mind. Women fall in love with their bodies. Men fall in love with their mind. It is from men that the idealized love springs, from poetry to sculpture to paintings, etc. Yet if women are caressed the right way, touched in the proper manner, at the right speed, etc., then they are yours. This is why women want men that are experienced, because they want to feel that way. Women have no concept of idealization from the virtue of virginity or maidenhood, etc., except in relation to society. Men's sexuality is focused and concentrated within his body. With a woman, her sexuality is diffused throughout her entire body. All touch to her is sexual, since she is entirely sexual. My cat's out there ringing bells. You probably can't hear it, but it's annoying the hell out of me. Typical AFC behavior, this is Deep Blue again. Typical AFC behavior is to respect those barriers too much and to never challenge them. That, by definition, maintains the barriers, leaving them in place. Doesn't matter how well he gets to know the chick. If he leaves those barriers in place, he will never be her lover. That is why he ends up in the friend category. So that's Deep Blue. AFC is scared of his sexuality. He is scared of carnal embrace. That's Pook. And then Deep Blue says, because he actually reinforced the barriers instead of destroying them. See, this is what we're talking about, Kamal, right? This is an imagined barrier in your mind, right? Overdoing the Kino. That's an imagined barrier in your mind. You just don't overthink it. Just go with your instinct on that. The gal that you've been dating, Kamal, like you've been dating her for a while now. I think you're pretty safe. You don't have to worry about it too much. And then Pook says, no, because he acted like penisless ape who has money, can speak, but is some bizarre androgynous. It is men that create the barriers. If men would embrace their own sexuality, dress better, be athletic, act like a man, exercise the muscles, etc., then women will jump you. This is what the PUAs must realize. It is not that they are pressing the woman's buttons. They are merely disarming the barriers, letting real women, not domesticated women, out of their society reflective cages. And then he has in quotes, if I do this, I will be seen as a sleut, etc. That is put to sleep. Women want union all the time. Even if they are married, pregnant, engaged, or have a boyfriend, they want you to be sexual towards them. But this doesn't mean you should. Alas, I'm moving away from the Kino topic. Go on, Deep Blue. Go on. So Deep Blue says, anyway, the next level up from AFC is to realize that you have to crumble those barriers so you work on them. But you're still leery about causing any anxiety and still a bit nervous about challenging the barriers. And the Pook says, nervous about the barriers? It is nervous about realizing your own sexuality. And then Deep Blue says, so you look for excuses to touch. And then Pook says, he will... it will still be interpreted in the woman's mind as he wants to have sex with me. She will see through the excuses. Right, ladies? Deep Blue says, or you reach out and caress her, but it has a slightly rushed quality because you're trying to mask some underlying nervousness. But ultimately, where you want to get to is the point where you recognize that for a woman, the experience of having you challenge the barriers is not only a source of anxiety for her, but it's also a source of excitement. And the idea is to shift the balance so she experiences more excitement than anxiety. And Pook says the excitement comes from you. She is experiencing anxiety. It is your fault. Women are reflective in nature. If I take a nice guy with me to the woman fest, this is what happens. How are you, ladies? I am the Pook. She shivers with excitement. Oh, it is the Pook, or it is a Pook. She and I are having a fabulous time. She is happy and smiling. My nice guy dork friend just looks sad, confused, bothered, angry, sad, depressed, sad, confused, and so on. She looks over at the nice guy and her face falls. Her mood instantly evaporates. Go in happy and she will be happy. Go in nervous and she will be nervous and unhappy. This is why I did the episode last week on just have fun. Because if you're having fun, she's going to have fun. If you're having a good time, she's going to have a good time. Women are reflective in nature. Speaking of which, I took Nurse Chick out to dueling pianos on Friday night, and I almost fucked up, guys. I almost fucked up. I live and die by my calendar, and if I don't have something on my calendar, I forget about it. I forget that it exists, and I forgot to put our date on the calendar, even though like I had it all planned all week long. I forgot to put it on my calendar. And so after I cut out work a little bit early on Friday, and I went to go drive up to the Grand Mesa to go for my trail run, and I sent Nurse Chick a message saying, "Hey, I'm going back to that trail for my trail run." Because if I go up to the National Forest, I like to let people know. That way, if I get stuck up there, they could send in the fucking National Guard or whatever they do. And so I send this to Nurse Chick. I'm like, "Hey, I'm heading up for my run." And she calls me up. She goes, babe, we have a date tonight. And I go, "Oh, fuck." So I had to like turn around and haul ass back down here, take a quick 5-minute Navy shower, get ready real super fast, get my dog loaded up in the truck and drive down to her house. We made it on time, but we went to dueling pianos and we fucking had fun. It was great. Okay. Just have fun. Okay. Don't be nervous or anything. But Paul, you've been dating Nurse Chick for 3 years now. Yeah. But still from the beginning, always took her to have fun. I was pretty relaxed and she's just super into me because I'm that guy. Nurse Chick. Yep. I don't think, that's because Kamal says Nurse Chick got that Riz. She says, yep. She does got that Riz. Okay. Ever see a baby fall down? This is Deep Blue again. Ever see a baby fall down? Notice how they don't know whether to laugh it off or cry. So they look to their parents to see their parent's face. If the parent frowns with concern, then the baby starts crying. If the parent smiles, the baby starts laughing. And Pook says, see above. Same with women. When you are entering new territory with a woman by challenging the touch barriers between you and her, then you have to do it calmly and confidently. And that causes her to experience it as exciting. If you do it nervously, she'll experience it as something that isn't right and that makes her uncomfortable. Pook says, exactly. Deep Blue says, one of the best ways to show confidence is to do it slowly instead of rushing it. Nervous people rush things to mask their nervousness. Think the outcome is already won, Pook says. Think that she is going to do all the ungodly things you want her to do. It is just a matter of when. In the meantime, you have fun because you know the outcome. Women interpret this as confidence and persistence, two traits that turn them on. Self-fulfilling prophecy, for as you think, they shall become. So this is a catch-22 with guys, right? Because of that chronesthesia thing. So what I would say to this is, if you have the instinct to do it, just fucking do it, right? And then gauge her response, but don't overthink it. But also don't have an attachment to the outcome because you'll fuck yourself up if you have an attachment to the outcome. Deep Blue says, nervous people also look away. So you calmly make eye contact, and nervous people look serious. So be sure to smile a lot. Nervous people also make their voice tense. So make yours relaxed and make your posture very open and relaxed rather than being closed and tensed. See, that's where like learning body language is important, and having wide open, relaxed body language on a date is paramount. It's paramount. If you have closed off body language, you look nervous. If your foot's tapping and shit like that, you look fucking nervous. So you got to be like relaxed, cool, and, you know, have wide open body language and take up a lot of space, you know. All this stuff's important because women are reading the subtext. They're taking it all in. They're not just taking your words in. If you are nervous, then you have not been around women very much. All these things will convey confidence, causing her to mind. What's this say? All these things will convey confidence, causing her to mind. I think there's a typo here. Causing her mind to interpret your touch as a source of excitement rather than a source of anxiety. It is a typo. Okay. Not only that, but she will start touching you like crazy. Good heavens. I have had to literally tell them to stop. Once you show it's okay to be touchy-feely, by the heavens, they will unleash touchiness. Nurse chick. The more you understand and vicariously feel the way your touch excites her, the more you will naturally become confident about doing it. In other words, she likes it, you like it, so do it. And Nurse Chick says also super into you. Yeah. Who's got that? Who's got that Riz, Kamal? Who's got that Riz? Oh yeah. In other words, she likes it, you like it, so fucking do it, by God. Besides, convey confidence. The other thing you need to do with Kino is to strike a balance so it isn't either too challenging nor too tame. As you start slowly caressing her hand or her arm or her waist or back, or maybe feeling her cheek to her hair with your hand, the ideal to strive for is that you want to keep her gently balanced on the very edge of being too excited, so it is never too much for her to handle, nor so mild that it becomes tame. And then Pook says, I don't caress them unless I'm going out with them or such. I usually touch them a little, and it is like the floodgates are open to touching the Pook. Kino is to make sure you are not a sexual mannequin, because sexual mannequins do not initiate Kino. They just stand there and smile. But after the touch, she thinks of you in a flesh and blood terms than in the abstract image way. In other words, in a physical way. In womaniverse, you cannot separate the physical from the sexual. Anything physical you do with her, she interprets as sexual. Probably why girls fall in love with you during action dates, since they are using their bodies from dancing to skating and so on. This is one of the reasons why I like to on like second or third dates, take women out for what I like to refer to as distraction golf, right? You go to like a mini golf, distraction mini golf. Go to mini golf and say, we're going to play distraction mini golf. And the girls are like, what? And you go, yeah, like when you go to take your shot, I'm going to do whatever I can to distract you from, hitting the ball. And then you get to do whatever you want to do to distract me from hitting the ball. This allows you to like walk up and like touch their ear and stuff. This allows you to do Kino in a fun, playful way, and they're expecting it, right? And then you'll find that these girls will get super sexual and they'll start doing all sorts of stuff. They'll come and blow in your ear. They'll touch your butt. Like they'll do all this kind of stuff because now they know it's okay. John says, you're complaining about being touched? Dude, it's like 100 fucking degrees out here. Okay? Get the fuck off me, woman. It's fucking hot. I'm dying over here. All right. Yeah. So Kino is like, it's a super powerful tool. I highly recommend you do it. There was one of the previous Pook episodes, he talked about how he's at a place where he doesn't Kino women too much anymore because he doesn't need to. I don't think you should ever get rid of it as a tool in your toolbox. It's a very effective tool. There's no reason not to use Kino, even if you are a fucking super Giga Chad guy. All right. That's all I got. Guys, join the beer club, beer.comeonmanpod.com. It's a good group of dudes. It's only $10 a month. Guys are in there swapping notes all the time. If you guys want to level up, get better, if you want to get better women and you want guys holding you accountable and stuff like that, it's perfect group for that. We have a new guy in there that's just fucking killing it on dating apps too. He also posted, I like this guy. He's a wealth of information. He posted a picture of his physique and he's in really good shape. He only uses very light weights at very high reps and slow controlled movements. And he's got he's got a really good physique and stuff like that. And he's got to do it like that because of other physical injuries. So he's talks about stuff like that. It's a wealth of knowledge, guys. Beer Club, and it's only $10 a month. And then, guys, you can work with me directly. I do have coaching available. I have, I think, 2 spots left in my standard tier. So if you want to get in there, there's a couple of spots available. Go to coaching.comeonmanpod.com to sign up for that. I am a certified master life coach. I am a certified master NLP practitioner. I can help you with all sorts of stuff, not just the women. All right, guys, that's all I got for this episode. Do be sure to tune in Wednesday. We're going to do a woo-woo Wednesday episode. I've been reading Thought Vibrations or Law of Attraction in the Thought World. And chapter, I think 15 that I'm on, gave me some good ideas to run with. So we're going to be talking about how basically you can have anything you want by law. By law. The law of attraction is a universal law. And I did an episode a couple of weeks back on the 7 hermetic principles of the universe, right? And the law of attraction is a sub-principle under 3 of those laws. So we're going to talk about it. But really what it comes down to is your mindset at the end of the day, right? Not overthinking this stuff, knowing that you're that guy and all that kind of stuff. Going back to the first article of Aim High, you got to change your mindset about a lot of this kind of stuff and take the right actions to get there, but you can have anything you want in this world. So tune into that Wednesday. We're going to get all up in the woo woo, and I'm going to try to not be so woo woo about it, but your boy's into that chick crack. All right. That's all I got, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications. I have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks for everyone that sounded off in the live chat. Thanks to brother Nathan for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. You guys, it's not too late to send a super chat. You guys can also send, I think they're called super thanks when it's not live anymore, but you guys can do that if you guys find value in these episodes. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Get on the email list. They'll send you a bunch of free stuff. If you go to, you can sign up at list.comeonmanpod.com. You also get a free chapter of my book, Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, when you sign up for that. But otherwise, you can get that on Amazon or Audible. Check out the fitness course. It's less than $30, and it's the perfect place to start if you don't know where to start working out. And I know what I'm talking about. I used to be a fat bastard, and then I fixed it. And joined Beer Club. I mentioned that already. And then, guys, you can work with me one-on-one with coaching. I got to get going. I got a meeting here in like 25 minutes. So we will see you guys on Wednesday.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. New full episodes served hot every Monday morning on your favorite podcast platform.
Whoa, hold on. We got a super chat before we go here. $5 super sticker. Let's give him this before we go.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
Yes, he definitely fucks. Okay, now, God bless. Let's end this episode.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. New full episodes served hot every Monday morning on your favorite podcast platform of choice. So subscribe now. Follow Paul on social media. The links are in the description. Now, go out and get it.